One of the main things we wanted to do when building our new house was make it green, energy efficient. And a lot of people, when they hear that, ask if we have solar power or if we have a geothermal heating system. And actually the answer to both of those is no. One of the main reasons we bought this lot was for all the trees that are around us, which we love trees, but that means there's not enough sunlight for solar panel energies to really work very well. And the other thing is that in order to do geothermal, which is a huge underground heat transfer system, we would have had to rip up a lot of the lot, probably tear down a bunch of trees, maybe even go into some of the forest conservation area. So we didn't go that route at all. Instead, what we're aiming for is a standard called passive house. So what is passive house? It's a European standard mostly that we don't see too often here in the States, but the general idea is that the house should not lose any energy to the outside world. One way we try and keep all of our heat and energy inside the house is with some special windows. Now these come from Lithuania, and first thing you notice about them is that they're really thick. Now you can't feel them the way I can, but I can tell you that opening this window takes a little more effort than your standard window. It's got at least double glazing with interior inert gases and other things. It also has some nice tilting features to allow ventilation during the summer months. Now another part of this is the walls, and if you can see how deep the window well is, that will give you a sense of how much thicker the exterior walls in the house are than in a typical house. We all love sitting around the fire on a cold winter night, but a traditional fireplace and chimney is a terrible source of heat loss for the house. All the heat you generate by burning wood goes straight up the chimney, sucking interior air with it, so the net effect is a terrible heat loss. Now this might look like a traditional fireplace and chimney, but it's actually a high-efficiency wood-burning stove. There is no chimney. All the heat that we generate is ventilated back into the house. Of course, all the appliances in the house are high-efficiency and eco-friendly. In addition to the exterior walls being extra thick, they're also almost airtight. There's a thick mylar membrane around the entire envelope of the house that in a traditional house might be 6 millimeters thick, and ours is 15 millimeters. Now all of this is great for retaining heat and energy, but you might be wondering how we keep the air in the house fresh, because of course if there's no air exchange at all, it's going to start allowing mold and other things to grow. Well, the answer is that we have a ventilation system. This ERV, as it's called, takes in fresh air from outside, recycles the interior air outside. It has some heat capture so that the exterior air coming in, which during the winter can be quite cold, is warmed up with some of the heat that we generate inside the house so we don't lose it. We can control the ventilation system at a number of points throughout the house with these control panels. One thing we might do, for example, is turn up the ventilation to high right before taking a shower. And this will prevent the moisture in the air from accumulating, the same way you might turn on a fan in a bathroom. Another way that we try to go green is, of course, by conserving water. And that's why we have dual flush toilets where you get to control how much water is used each time you flush. And as much as possible, of course, we're using LED light bulbs.